This little pipsqueak you're seeing was my very first gaming console. This is where it all started. I had the little pup controls that looks like an anal bead and an orange and blue box to play on. I probably just unlocked a hidden core memory for a lot of you guys if you're as old as me and has played this thing. If so, today in this video, we're going to be going over all the consoles and games that we grew up with over the years up until now. So this fossil I'm showing you on the screen now, children, is my very first game. The Dream Blast. I don't even know. I was told this was my very first console. I don't even remember this thing. I just remember it for kind of being the Sonic Adventure box. All I remember was the controls being so bad in this game, and I can never get past the very first boss fight against the blue jello brain dude in the game. I was like 1 or 2 at the time. The hell, I don't even remember that. But let's talk about the real hidden gem, the V-Smile.
Where the fuck you going, Egglab? What?
Now, if my little niggas don't know about the V-Smile, then let me tell you, man, this thing came with more video game exclusives than the PlayStation 5, and it came with amazing games like
Zezu, an Earth Adventure.
Now, if y'all don't know my boy Zezus, he was an alien that was going on a field trip with all his alien classmates, and they went on a field trip to Earth, but then his alien classmates left his ass. While all his classmates were boarding the spaceship, Zezus was caught up messing around chasing some Earthling pussy. So the spaceship ends up leaving him and he ends up getting stuck on Earth with no way home, and his only thing to do is to learn about how to procreate with the humans. This is dead ass the plot, no joke. But have you ever heard of those video games that are based on movies? Well, guess what? This console had a lot of them, and this was one of them.
Disney presents a Pixar film.
This game was fire, man. My boy Wally was riding around, whipping in the two-wheeler boogie, riding through the trenches, collecting trash, cleaning up the environment and keeping the world clean and shit. This was like my earliest memories of gaming, man. Like, guys, let me know down below, what was your earliest memories of gaming? I also had the handheld version of the V-Smile. I remember playing like Scooby-Doo and shit on that, but I also remember breaking it. But enough of that baby shit. Let's talk about the greatest handheld system of all time, the Nintendo DS. Now, kids, you guys may grow up with iPads, but guess what? My generation, we grew up with Nintendo DS. Whether it was a DS Lite, DSi XL, new 3DS XL, everybody had one of these dual screen system joints in their pocket. This thing also had backwards compatibility in a second slot on the bottom of the system. I only had one Game Boy Advance game, and it was Sonic Advance, and it was gifted to me from a friend. And some games had online. You connected to the Wi-Fi, you could play games online like Mario Kart, DS, and that was way before we had cheat services like PlayStation Plus and Nintendo Online. Back then, you didn't have to pay to play online games with your friends. You just both had to have a copy of the game. But then Nintendo was like, hey, download play, where only one person had to have a copy of the game. By creating a room and hosting the lobby, up to 7 other people could join the game after downloading a chunk of the game through a Bluetooth-like connection. And there were hundreds of games that used this feature, Mario Kart DS being one of them, but there was also New Super Mario Bros, Super Mario Bros 64 DS, Mario Party DS, and one of my faves, New Super Mario Bros and his twin brother does a backflip. All jokes aside, I will say I grew up with Nintendo games for the most part, but this next console I'm going to talk about, everyone grew up. If you didn't, you were missing out. This console changed gaming and gaming culture for years to come.
Buy a mini fridge for college, get a free ice tray. Or buy a PC for college, get a free Xbox 360.
Hey, growing up, this was the system, man. If you didn't have an Xbox 360, man, what was you doing? I feel like a lot of people switched over to the PS4 after the Xbox 360 era. Before I was a PlayStation Sony boy, I was the Xbox 360 kid. This was definitely the generation where a lot of you became some sweaty, degenerate tryhards on the game, being toxic as hell.
Look at you in the fucking goddamn bushes!
Enemy UAV.
You fucking run around, bitch!
Counter UAV standing by.
Well, who won 2 games ago,
UAV
bitch?
recon standing by.
It doesn't matter
Repeat, UAV
how fucking
recon.
high I am. I'm fucking besieged like 3 times, bitch. Well, the fucking see how high you are,
UAV
motherfucker.
standing by. Repeat.
Fucking bitch with your fucking YouTube gun.
I already know you a bitch, my nigga. I'm stacking the brick like the chips, my nigga. Please come get your bitch, my nigga.
Yeah! that's like, hey ma, I played with my dick today. Nobody cares. It's not a feat. Anyone can do that. You find someone's tax insertion, you wait from the spawn, and you film how the fuck you want. Whoopsie fucking do. You're the one talking shit. You're such a fag. Hey, I'm better than more than half your fucking team. Look at where I'm at. I'm above you. Shut your mouth. You went 9-23. You like getting raped? Is that what you're talking about? Because I told you to suck my dick, but I got your fucking back right now. You can't open your mouth to suck it, motherfucker.
While all y'all was calling each other racial slurs in the Modern Warfare 2 lobby, I was playing Halo 3. And I did spend some time in the online lobbies, but for the most part, I played the campaigns. I was like 6 or 7 at the time, and my little tiny developed brain was not developed enough to be good enough to go against the Prestige 3 Spartans in the online multiplayer. So for the most part, I stayed on campaign. Bro, my little ass couldn't even pronounce campaign correctly. I remember I used to call it campage. Looking back at it, I definitely had no business in them online lobbies. I did play online on the Halo games a little bit, but they were nowhere near as toxic as the COD lobby. Halo was my very first experience with first-person shooters. Man, I swear the campaigns for the older first-person shooters were so much better. Like, that is the reason I fell in love with, like, storytelling in video games. I always love a good story in a game. But the 360 also came with the Kinect, which is a camera that tracks your movement and uses you as the controller. And it had games like Kinect Adventure, Sonic Free Riders, and Just Dance. I remember this thing being so fun as a kid. I spent hours in Sonic Free Riders, but looking back on it, this thing did not have a lot of games, at least good games on it. Everybody and their granny was using motion controls, man. It was the new hot commodity ever since the Wii dropped, and Microsoft was trying to get in on that with the Kinect. But doing that, they kind of pushed away their hardcore audience by releasing a bunch of casual Kinect games. 360 was the first console I played AAA games on, and it was the reason most people bought a 360, but they wanted to keep releasing these casual games for an audience that wasn't even theirs. That's really why they ended up in 3rd place in the console wars, because they were not releasing a bunch of good games. Like the PS3 was releasing a bunch of good exclusives, and the Wii, everybody had one. What could I possibly say about the Wii that hasn't already been said? Yo mammy had one, yo sister had one, yo granny had one, yo therapist had one, yo uncle had one, yo cousin had one, yo ex-side bitch had one, yo stepbrother had one. Basically everybody had a Wii. And for the people who didn't, they probably just had a vendetta against Nintendo and hated them for whatever reason. And that's why the Wii was the greatest console ever, because it was a console for literally any and everyone. No matter how old or young you were, this system had a game for everybody. It even had COD games, yeah, for the hardcore gamers. Yeah, they were probably pretty shitty with the motion controls and the graphics, but you know, they had them. Still remember it like it was yesterday, man. The old days of playing New Super Mario Bros. For the first time. I still remember the times me and my cousin used to hop on the Wii every day after a long day of school, still smelling like outside in our school uniform, playing the Michael Jackson game. Also, your birthday party was ass if you didn't have a Wii. We had to run it up in the Wii Sports, obviously, and had to get a Mario Kart match in real quick. I was always ass at Mario Kart Wii because I could never get the motion controls down. One game I'll never forget though is the game that I got with my Wii. And this game is the reason why this is my favorite video game character. What I'm about to show you is the best video game intro of all time. Top 2, and it's not 2.
Okay, here we go. Focus. Speed. I am speed.
Yes, exterminating furries is in my contract.
Go out and get some bitches for once. Huh?
did have to share my Wii with my sister at the time. It was Sonic Unleashed and Donkey Kong Country Returns. Donkey Kong was supposed to be for the both of us, and yeah, I did like Donkey Kong, and my mother only got it because she said she liked it as a kid. She was talking about this game. Yeah, but Sonic was a single player game, and Sonic Unleashed was for me. Definitely. Like, bro, this shit was so cool, and I was like, this nigga just turned into Super Sonic.
That's what I've been waiting for.
Gotta go. Bro, y'all understand, like, this shit is burned into my psyche. I watched this cutscene like a billion times. So many times when I was legit, man. This game right here made me a Sonic fan, and it's the reason why I fell in love with all the other Sonic games on the Wii, like Sonic and the Black Knight, Sonic Colors, and why I haven't missed any mainline Sonic games since Unleashed. I have played them all, even the bad ones. If you never played this game, you at least heard the amazing music this game has, because I played a lot of Sonic Unleashed OTS in the background of my older videos. But enough of me geeking over Sonic the Hedgehog. Let's talk about Nintendo's next console. So remember when I was talking about the DS earlier in the video? Well, Nintendo made a DS2, said that wasn't enough, carried over the 2, added a +1, and now we have the 3DS. They end up releasing a 2DS later on, which makes my math equation wrong, but fuck it. It didn't matter because they were all compatible with each other no matter which version of DS you had. Even if you had the original DS, the very first one, you could connect 7 other systems no matter which model or version they are to that one DS and play any game that had download. 3DS was 100% backwards compatible with the DS, and they all came with a tech demo called Face Raiders, and this game was so amazing. For my youngins who don't know what Face Raiders is, this is a motion-controlled first-person shooter that uses faces that you take pictures of. Kind of plays like a VR game. That's the best way I can explain it, but the levels in this game are pretty fun. Let me know down below in the comments if y'all used to do this as a kid, because I used to get real creative with this game. I used to use pictures or toys as the faces in this game to have different characters and stuff. Let me know if y'all did that too. I thought it was so cool. I used to take pictures of my action figures and shit to put like Sonic in the game, for example. This system also had amazing exclusives. Some of my favorites being Super Mario 3D Land, Kid Icarus Uprising. Man, this game desperately needs a sequel or a remake of some kind. And Paper Mario Sticker Star. I really love that game. That was one of the games that had me staying up all night, hiding my 3DS under my pillow so I don't get caught because I gotta get up early and go to school in the morning. I don't know why I always see online people hating on this game, Paper Mario Sticker Star. I really like this game. It was my very first Paper Mario game, and I wasn't there for the GameCube era, so I guess I'm not a real stan that knows what's best and that's been following the series. And this was my very first RPG too, and I don't even really like RPGs unless it's like Fallout, but I don't really count those as RPGs. But let's get into the next nostalgic gaming topic. PC games, specifically Flash computer games. Yes, I'm talking about the cool math, know what I'm saying? Happy Wheels. Y'all remember that? Happy Wheels is a game that I have hours on and still play to this day from time to time. I remember the days where I used to come home from school and get right on the computer to play some Happy Wheels. Cool math, not so much though, at least outside of school. I always felt like that was a legal website to be on and it was gonna give you a virus, and one wrong click you'll be on X videos. But don't get it twisted though, running Super Smash Flash was my shit. At the time though, I went through this little phase where I was addicted to a bunch of Flash computer games because I was completely tired of everything else. The Wii was starting to get pretty old at the time, and it was the only system I had in my house except the 3DS until I got a new shiny black brick under my tree on a very cold, snowy Christmas night. Can you guys guess which system that was?
It's time for a whole new Nintendo experience. Wii owners and newcomers alike, it's time to play Wii U. Wii U is an entirely new technology and true successor to Wii. An exclusive library of games means unique spins on that classic Nintendo fun. Like multiplayer with all your friends and family.
I think it's safe to say that the Wii U was a good system. It just had very shitty marketing. Like, what the fuck is the U stand for? Underdog? because that's what Nintendo has been ever since. Pretty much everything good about this system was ported to the Nintendo Switch, so that makes this system pretty obsolete and pointless. Oh wait, what about Virtual Console? Oh yeah, Nintendo shut that down with the eShop. Wait a minute, what about Miiverse? Oh yeah, Nintendo shut that down too. Miiverse was just that you had to be there thing. For my sperm cells who don't know what Miiverse is, it's basically Twitter but without the porn and with a user base ranging up to 21 plus all the way to 3 years old, which made for a very unique and funny, weird community. And hey, you got messages like this.
I'm a straight male, but damn, Luigi is hot.
This game is fun, but I hate my parents.
If you think about it, Wii U isn't really doing that bad. I mean, they have around 6 million unit sales, and there's only like 7 million people on Earth, so like almost everyone has a Wii U.
2 words. That was hard, but I beat it.
Please friend request and follow me. I am so lonely. Don't just yell it.
Well, what kind of stuff do you like / do? Your mom?
Okay, fine, I'm a homosexual.
I am looking for a sexy girlfriend. This is Netflix, not eHarmony. Shut up, go outside, and get some game. The name of the game is Your Mom, and let's just say, I'm already playing it. Anyone want to chat about, let me think. Anything. 18 plus. Can I please? I'm only 7.
The Toys to Life fad is something that came and went, but Wii U was the very first console I played Skylanders on. But that was around the time the series started to fall off from being oversaturated from things like Disney and Lego getting in on the genre. Nintendo also came out with some Amiibo, but it worked completely different. You know, Skylanders was more of a glorified DLC to where you had to buy new toys to get new characters in the game and unlock certain paths in the world. But each character had their own abilities and powers, and it was pretty cool and fun to, you know, experiment with new Skylanders. While Amiibo was more of a Nintendo's collector's item because their figures looked good and was probably not worth getting it from a shady guy in the alley through the black market to get your favorite Amiibo character you wanted because of how rare some of these things were, just to get a little cheap treat in the game. But I still have every Amiibo and Skylander I've ever gotten in this shoebox collecting dust. I haven't touched them in years. Mostly Skylanders though. I was more into that. Wii U was the console I begged all my friends and family members to get, just for only one of my friends and me to end up having one, and me really having no one to play the game with. A lot of people thought it was a Wii add-on. It didn't have a lot of third-party game support, and the gamepad could only move a couple feet from the system before disconnect. That's why the Wii U only sold 14 million copies in its lifespan, and since I didn't have anyone to play the Wii U with, I asked all my friends at school, hey, what console do you guys play on? And pretty much majority of them said this console. You guys can tell by now it wasn't the Xbox One, right? The PlayStation 4. The greatest console ever until the PS5 made it obsolete, but fuck it, I'll get to that one next. Just wait on. If you weren't on PS4, you were gay. Nothing wrong with being gay, because if you're gay, you're just very happy. Because you must have been very happy, satisfied, and content with playing games like Forza, your best Halo, that dead franchise. Safe to say now that I made the right choice of not getting an Xbox and getting a PlayStation where all the good exclusive games are. It's where I played the Uncharted series for the first time and got to play new experiences like Until Dawn. Later on, choice-making horror and horror games in general end up being my favorite genre of video games. Also, exclusives like Spider-Man and Days Gone were amazing. And PS4 was the first system I started playing Resident Evil games on. First Resident Evil game I ever played was on the Wii U, Resident Evil Revelations, and that game scared the shit out of me as a kid. So when I played Resident Evil 7 for the first time on the PS4, I had no idea that that shit was going to scare the diarrhea out of me. Okay? This was the first system that only belonged to me. I had to share the Wii with my sibling. I had to share my 3DS and DS games with my sibling, and I also had to share my Xbox 360 with my sibling, even though it wasn't even at the house that we lived at. If you know anything about sharing things with your siblings, then you know that you can never get enough time with that thing that you're sharing. So that just starts arguments. Luckily, me being the only boy in the family, my sister stopped playing games during the Xbox 360 era, so the PS4 was for me and only mine. Remember it like it was yesterday, coming home from a Christmas vacation to come home to a BO3 box under the tree. Even though I had a 360 before, this was my very first system to where I experienced things like online friends and staying up late all night in party chats. Man, good time. I got this PlayStation in 2015 for the holiday, and I still remember installing Fallout 4. It was the first game I got for my PS4, and that was around the time where I attempted to make YouTube videos for the first time with PlayStation's live streaming feature, streaming straight from the console with YouTube or Twitch. and also editing videos in Share Factory. If you think I'm a good editor now, it all started on the PS4. This was also the generation where I became a toxic sweat myself on the game, and I thought I was so MLG in things like Rocket League and COD.
Get him! Okay, I give him props for that though. I was like staying in one spot, so it was easy for him to fuck you up. Somebody already got him. Oh my god, look at all these tryhards. Man, just because you got sweet guns, man, what that robot doing? Ain't nobody care. I got in last place, of course, but now y'all can see my emblem. Yeah, we going into overtime right now. This is bad. This is not good. Oh. Yeah, we gonna go into overtime. Wait, last second shot, cease?
I'll also never forget the PlayStation Communities app that they shut down, man. Sony should have never shut that down. Remember how I said Miiverse for Nintendo was like a little kiddie Twitter? Well, this was like a gaming Reddit. There were a bunch of communities like communities for tips and tutorials for games, memes, trophy achievement hunter communities. And I even had my own community about horror games, and it was just about people just talking about their favorite horror games and talking about lore and shit. It was pretty active. I had about like 300 something members. Also, the communities helped people find players in games that didn't have a large player base or games that were like pretty dead. Or it was just used for other people to find good players that love playing the game just as much as them. I remember someone invited me to a FaZe community because I was playing good in COD for one match, and then I thought I was actually in FaZe, and that's kind of what made my whole MLG persona come out. I used to use the communities tab just to find good players in Dead by Daylight because matchmaking sucked in that game, but communities was the easiest way just to start up a simple car meet in GTA Online. I had a Grove Street gang community also. I meant to say this earlier, but I remember playing GTA 5 for the first time on the Xbox 360, and I remember spamming this shit because it was so funny to me.
It's your boy LD, long dick, holla at me.
And GTA was also my game during 2020 during the little virus outbreak, and that's also around the time where I got a PS Now subscription. And if you remember PS Now, not a lot of people liked it, but for someone who didn't play a lot of 7th generation games on the last generation consoles, yeah, that service was for me and I liked it. It was nice to play some 7th gen titles that I never played before and some PS3 games because I never owned a PS3 myself. And it was for a good price. I mean, they did merge it with PlayStation Plus later on, which just to give an excuse to make everything more expensive.
Welcome to Sony Airlines.
Now we're in the modern era. Everything has to be a live service game. Glitches and bugs are more prevalent in games than ever before. Everything is a sequel or a remake. Sony is saying they're already halfway done with PS5 support, with it only having like 5 exclusives not on PS4. Xbox seems like they're just gonna become a streaming services and make handhelds or something to compete with Nintendo now. Nintendo literally just ported everything from the Wii U to the Switch. I sold my Wii U to get a Switch, and I was gonna make a Nintendo Switch segment for this video, but looking back on it, the Nintendo Switch barely had anything to offer that I haven't already experienced on the Wii U because I was a loyal Nintendo consumer at that time and played on Wii U, and I played pretty much everything that's on Switch. I do not like Zelda, so Breath of the Wild was boring. I don't fuck with Pokemon or Animal Crossing. I like Kirby, Donkey Kong, and Mario. And the only time I played my Switch was when Super Mario Odyssey came out, and just now recently, Super Mario Wonder coming out. Other than that, I barely have touched my Switch. I enjoyed playing the system when Splatoon 2 was released and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, but as soon as they announced that Nintendo Online bullshit and their servers were still shitty as hell and they wanted you to pay to play online, That's right around the time I stopped playing Switch, and a couple months after that, both of my Joy-Cons got drift, and that was the last straw. I pretty much boycott Nintendo after that, and exclusively play games on my PlayStation only. And I don't know what they're putting in these new controllers, but I haven't experienced drift until this new generation with the Series X and PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons, because my 360 never got drift controllers and my PS4 never got drift controllers. I bought third-party Joy-Cons just to play Super Mario Wonder because I knew if I bought Nintendo verified Joy-Cons, they would have got drift. I actually just picked up a PS5 controller the other day from GameStop because the PS5 controller that came with my PS5 got drift within 3 months. A new controller that came with the system. In conclusion, I really enjoyed growing up with gaming in the early 2000s all the way through the 2010s, but this new generation of consoles are pretty mid. Hopefully gaming gets better within the next 20 years. It really sucks because now I have to pay for gas and my own video games and these shitty controllers, and hopefully this YouTube channel pays off so I can buy my next fucking bag of hash brown.